Christopher. Hi.
Nice to meet you, Chris. I'm Molly.
All right. Well, I'm going to get you started here,
Okay.
and I'm going to talk about what I do here at Walsh,
Okay.
and I'm going to explain the internship a little bit to you. So I've been a senior manager here at Walsh for 4 or 5 years now, and I'm a BIM team manager. And what I do from day to day is I walk around the job site, meet with clients, and keep all my employees in line and make sure they're doing their job correctly. So the internship you're applying for, you'd be located in Chicago, and what you'd want to do is you'll be going from job site to job site daily from what the interns have done before in the past. And you'll be carrying around an iPad, and you'll be showing clients what they can do, what the buildings can do, and then you can be in the office any other day of the week too. So, what do you know about Walsh?
Well, I grew up in just about like an hour south of Chicago, so I know the projects that they've done around Chicago, and they've also done a project in my hometown. They did a baseball field, so like I went to that field and have watched games, so like I know the building, I've seen the building, I've actually had a chance to tour it when it was first constructed. So I've seen their work. I know they're located in many locations as well, and have worked on many projects also outside of Chicago. So I know the work, I know the company, I grew up around the company. So.
Okay, so you said that you know that we have a lot of locations
Yes.
throughout the world. So what we typically like to do is we like to hire on our interns after an internship if we feel that they've been successful.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there's not an opening for a job in Chicago. Would you be willing to relocate at all?
I would be willing to relocate. Typically somewhere in the U.S. I know they have locations outside the U.S., but my main area is I'd like to stay in the Midwest, but I have family in the East Coast, so I know the East Coast area as well. So that area is also something that, or a place that interests me, so I wouldn't mind moving there as well.
Okay. So can you just start off by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am a junior here at Purdue. My major is computer graphics technology, and I'm focusing in construction graphics. I'm also working on a minor in art. I participate in the Purdue BIM Club, and we have competitions. The recent one was in Reno, Nevada, and we also contact local companies that like to help us further our knowledge in BIM as well. So the club itself is definitely growing and learning more. But I'm secretary of the BIM Club as well.
Okay, you said that you have a minor in art. How do you feel like that will benefit you for this job?
It helps with design. For a job that's more implemented towards the design process, my minor in art will be focused in drawing and sketching as well. So it kind of helps with an eye in design and being able to know and help the clients visualize and what they are asking for.
Okay. What's the biggest thing that you say you've taken away from your CGT major so far, since you've been at Purdue?
I think it's the new programs that I get to use. I didn't know so many programs were used, and they're constantly expanding, as well as the BIM field itself. It's a new topic that's being expanded. So I know a lot of companies are just getting into it. They're learning the programs along at the same time that I'm learning the programs. So I think the new programs that we get to use and learn before any of the other companies really get to use them is definitely a big deal.
What are some of your favorite programs?
Well, Revit is a program that I know a lot of companies use. That's for the design work. And that's constantly gaining new features. But some new programs are Navisworks and BIM 360 Glue. BIM 360 Glue is new because there are other programs like it, but it's a cloud-based program. So the electrical team can be working on the electrical work for the building, as well as the steel, whoever's working on the steel structure can work on that. And they all can be working on at the same time and collaborate, and everything can be sent without having to ever meet anyone. So we can have someone in California doing steel work and send their work to Chicago, and you know, it cuts down on travel expenses and everything just to transfer work.
It's pretty great, isn't it? So I know that you said that we've done a lot of work throughout your hometown and stuff and growing up. What makes you actually really want to dig in and work here at Walsh?
I grew up around construction work. My mom was a realtor and also worked for a company who did strip malls and subdivisions, so they did construction work all the time, and so I got to be in the office and see what they did itself. So I know some of the like inside features of being with a company like that. So that's what interested me into it. And so like the Walsh Group I know is a very big company in Illinois, and so because of working with it myself and like seeing the company's work as well and the company's expanding, it interests me to be with a company like that that's going places and instead of a company that's just kind of stuck.
Great. So I said before that one day you can be out in the field and another day you can be in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you'll be able to adjust to a changing schedule almost every day and you'll never know what happens?
I think I should be able to adjust to that. You know, like in classes, you have your lab work, you have your lecture work, or your lecture classes. So being able to adjust to know when we're out in the field or when I'm in an office, as well as a site might include an on-site office. So I might be in there as well. So I think I would be able to adjust going between an office and a site work.
Okay, great. So you told me a little bit about Reno. Can you tell me some more about that and what you did specifically?
So the Associated Schools of Construction competition in Reno, we competed in the open competition. There was also the Region 6 and Region 7. There are multiple questions that are given by different companies that are funding this competition. So I specifically competed in the visual design and construction competition that was hosted by WebCore. And the question was a project that they were specifically working on. They had 2 months left in the construction process. So they knew all the answers that we were finding out. So we worked from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. We were given deadlines. For example, there were 4 different parts. At 8 a.m. we were given part 1 to the coordination and part 1 to site logistics. And then that was due at noon, and then at noon we were given part 1 to say the estimating and part 2 to the coordination. And so they had deadlines and we had to work with the questions. I specifically worked on the coordination, so I did clash detection, which was they gave us all the models, the steel model, the electrical model, the plumbing models, and we had to combine them in using BIM 360 glue and align them as well because they weren't aligned, and run clash detection on each of the different systems. So there was 7 different systems, so we had to compare all 7 to each other and make sure we covered every single comparison and didn't leave out one, and locate clashes, and they would ask for 2 specific clashes to which we had to highlight and label what was wrong and how they needed to be fixed for some of the questions. And then we had to go back in the second part and say if it was fixed, and another thing was compare the steel and the plumbing and say whether the plumbing needed a hanger, such as like it would hang below a floor, or a sleeve because it was going through a floor, such as like in a bathroom where you have the plumbing for the toilets, the sink, so that has to go through the floor. So that was the coordination problem that I worked on.
Great. How do you think that'll benefit you for this position or any position in the future?
I think it will benefit me because, like I said, BIM 360 Glue is a new program and a lot of people are using it. So it kind of gives me an advantage to knowing and getting used to the program before other people, along with it was an actual building that was being worked on and has 2 months left in the construction process. So I got to work with a building specifically, not just a made-up one for this proposed question. So it was kind of like an internship all combined in one day.
That's awesome. So what classes specifically do you think have helped towards that competition and will help you towards this internship?
I'm currently taking CGT 360. It is an intro to BIM class, so we are learning a more detailed version of Revit to design elements and design a building and look at blueprints and have to know the site and where things need, what type of walls need to be used and all of that. I'm also I took CGT 164, which was an intro to AutoCAD and Revit, so that gave me some knowledge in those programs. And in the future, I plan to take a couple of BCM classes, some building construction management classes, to help me gain more knowledge in the construction field itself.
What classes are you going to specifically take for BCM or for your construction?
There are a few classes offered. For the CGT major, they require you to take Tech 320 and Tech 330, but unfortunately they're getting rid of the Tech 320 class, but they're still asking that you fulfill that requirement. And so there are a few BCM classes offered. I don't exactly know which ones, but I plan to take one of those along with, I have some room in my schedule for the future semesters that I can take a couple more BCM classes. But like I said, I don't know which classes I plan on taking.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of important that you take a couple so you can
Yeah.
know what to do with the whole construction process.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to model in BIM is very important for this internship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'll be able to jump right in if we hire you on, or do you think it'll take some time?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to jump right in. The competition was definitely a great help to that, getting to know exactly what is being asked of in the workplace. So I think with my knowledge of Revit and AutoCAD and all the other programs, I think I'll be able to jump right in and immediately go into modeling. So
That's great. So I know that BIM is a huge interest of yours.
mm-hmm.
Why is that?
BIM is the future of construction process. It's something that was originally made or created within the construction field, but not established. And so now with all of the new advancements in technology, it is going to be what every construction company is doing. As you said, the internship required is implementing the model on an iPad. I've seen a company show me exactly what that is exactly. So if they have the iPad with the model on it, and you walk through the building and you can see the plumbing work through the walls, you can see the steel work, you can see clashes if there's still anything, or where clashes were supposed to be to make sure they're fixed. So this, with all the new technology, BIM is the future, which is why my interest in it is so huge.
Do you think you'll want to be dealing with BIM in like the future in about 10 years or so, or where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself in 10 years still working with BIM, a lot more knowledge gained in the BIM field, hopefully some more progression in the technology used, maybe some programs kind of fixed a little bit, because I know BIM 360 Glue, like I said, it's new, but it also has a few bugs. It's a little touchy, and one simple move and you're halfway across the page or whatever. So I hope that there's that all those things are fixed within the technology, and it's a little more easier to do the things that we're being asked to do with all the technology. So.
Yeah, so you said the iPad, it can get a little glitchy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had have you ever dealt with an iPad and actually practiced going through talking to someone with one?
I have not. It was not something that was asked for us, and I have not had an internship with that knowledge. So I have not actually worked with the iPad itself. I mean, when the person was demonstrating it to me, it was still very glitchy, and also it relies on the internet as well, because it's a cloud-based product. So, so if the connection's not good, your program's not going to work as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we offer a lot of training classes that will help you
Mm-hmm.
figure everything out. Just going to wrap things up here. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. You've worked for a company for a while. What has your experience with them been like?
Oh, it's been great. A lot of the people I work with every day, it just makes me happy when I come in because I can get my job done. I like the people who work under me, above me, with me. It's really great experience. I just love coming to work.
Okay. Now, when I was working with clash detection, there were definitely a bunch of different ways that those issues can be solved. So with the Walsh Group, what do you generally do? Is the BIM designer who is working with the clashes, are they the ones that are being relied on to fix it, or are they sent back out to the models, the people who model each of the systems, and they're asked to fix it?
Well, we usually send it back to the people who are asked to model, but it depends on each situation.
Mhm.
If we know it can be a quick fix, we'll just ask you to do it, but if not,
Okay.
we'll ask it to be sent back.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions.
All right, well, I'll get back to you here in a couple weeks or so,
Okay.
and I'll let you know everything.
Do you have some contact information that I can email you some questions if I have any?
Yes, this paper has all my information.
Thank you. Well, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, great, thank you.